What's going on, everybody? It's Josh, and today, or tonight per se, we just got back from seeing Spider-Man Homecoming, so we are going to bring you kind of a review slash first thoughts, and I am joined obviously by my homie Kenny. We have been friends since like freshman year or whatever, and this video is actually going to go up before the video I recorded today from Trader's World, so I mentioned all of that, so make sure you guys go check that video out. But we are going to start doing reviews, reactions, and all sorts of dealing with movie trailers, show trailers, anything Star Wars, DC, Marvel related. So if you guys enjoy it, please let us know down in the comment section below. So in the theater, we both took notes down on our phone, so obviously this is going to be in order of the movie. This is going to be a spoiler review. Obviously it's in the title, so if you clicked on it, you should have known. First, we're going to get started with our initial thoughts on the movie. So Kenny, what'd you think, man?
Best Spider-Man movie so far. No joke. Seen them all. Loved them all. Even though the Andrew Garfield version, The Amazing Spider-Man. Hands down, this one wins it, takes the title.
I will have to say, it's been a while since I've seen any of the Spider-Man movies. This movie was dope, don't get me wrong, but I'm confused on the origin. I know this is kind of like a reboot, or because one thing well, never mind, I'm not going to get off this track. I like the movie. I will want to see it again 100%. I'd have to watch the rest of the movies to place this one on what I like, but the action, the villain, Vulture, he was probably one of my favorites outside of Spider-Man 2. So the villains in that were pretty dope, but honestly, with that being said, I just need to watch the other ones before I make my full review on that.
I will say, as I'll rank it as the best Spider-Man movie to date, in my opinion, I will say that I do have a few complaints. A few minor little things that just kind of stood out that I really kind of want to complain about, but other than that, hands down, awesome villain, awesome Spider-Man, everything, great.
Okay, first of all, spoilers, obviously, like I just said, this is a spoiler review because honestly it's 1:45 in the morning. We got out of the movie like half hour ago, so we're not going to make two separate videos, it's just going to be one. So if you haven't seen the movie, pause, go see it, come back, hit play. Okay, so first starting out on my notes was Vulture using his wings right away. I didn't expect that. I legit thought that it would kind of build up to that. So that leads into my second thing of Vulture was a character during Civil War, technically.
Yeah, he fell in that timeline.
Yeah, and that's something that I maybe wish, or I hope that they kind of, like, I hope they touch base on that either in a comic or in Spider-Man Homecoming 2, because I think I read or heard that he already signed on for the second movie. What
I liked about that, just to touch base on his, or to piggyback on it, is you get the villain right from the get-go. There's no, there's no wasted time on figuring out who the villain is and figuring out what his motive is. I mean, right out of the gate, before they even say the title of the movie, you already know what you're getting yourself into with the villain, with the main, villain of the movie. So I like that.
And that, just to touch on like the origin thing, I guess something that confused me or confuses me, and if you guys have any better input, leave it down in the comments. I like how they didn't show us again how Spider-Man got his powers, or whatever you want to call him. I like that it was subtle between him and his friend, what was it, Ned? Yeah, how Ned was like, oh, you got bit by a spider or whatever. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, that was real cool.
But what throws me off now is, do we think of the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man as not Spider-Man anymore? Because that came out of his wrist, and now he has a web shooter.
But in the comics, though, he had the web shooters as well.
See, I don't read comics, so.
So like early on in the comics, he had his web shooters, and then later on, I don't remember exactly what happened, but something did happen. It did come out of his wrist. So
I guess what I am trying to get at is, right now, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man is still canon, technically.
Technically, yeah.
So what Spider-Man do we go off of? Do we go off of the new one because it's the new movie, or do we go off of that?
So I think you can really look at whatever Spider-Man you want to, whichever one's your favorite, based on it, because I think they're two separate things. Like if you compare it to like Ben Affleck Batman or like Christian Bale Batman, it was its own trilogy. It started, it ended.
That's true.
So if you treat it like that with the Spider-Man, whichever one you prefer.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
I didn't think about it that way. I don't know. I guess that was one of my things that wasn't like down on my notes, but it was something that kind of made me think about it per se.
One thing that I really enjoyed about this movie, they added like a sense of realism to it. They also kind of made him more human than I've seen in the past. He's very conflicted with being Spider-Man, but also trying to be a teenager. So I think that they brought like a lot of realism into his character and a lot of depth that you didn't see in the past. Like the part where he's all the kids are swimming and he sees like some trouble and he's got to go save some people. Away. So he like bails on the swimming, but there's like that moment where he's sitting there looking at all the kids and he's like, I really want
to do that, but he doesn't go. Yeah.
But he realizes that he was given this power and he needs to go and do what, you know, what his gift is for. It
was kind of expected to have that, like in that scene when he's running through like all the yards and stuff. I think, I'll probably get bashed for this, but I think they tried too hard to make it funny, or to like have comic relief, I guess is what people say. Because he was running through the backyards, and like that's like a typical scene that you're going to expect is when they're running through the yards. It's going to be funny, you know. Or like the guy's grilling. He says, "Oh, it smells good." I mean, I could have done without that because it was really drug out.
He talks a lot. He talks a lot. That is one of my complaints. I kid you not. It's right here in the notes. Throughout the entire thing, he's always constantly like moaning,
or something,
or constantly like whining.
But I guess, I mean, he's 15, and I don't remember the age of when Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, is that his name? Andrew Garfield. Yeah, I don't know what Spider-Man's age was at that point. I don't know if he was a little older in high school or if he was 14 or 15. So I think
Tobey was like a senior, if I remember correctly, and then I think Andrew Garfield was a senior because he graduated in the second movie.
Did he?
And was going to college.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he was.
They were going to college in the Amazing Spider-Man 2.
So I guess I agree, but then I kind of maybe they made it that way because of his age, as in like not stubborn, but just, you know, teenagers like to talk a lot. But just to skip to something, I thought it was kind of cool how they used the Iron Man suit when he saved Spider-Man from Vulture, when Vulture grabs him and he, the parachute like is drowning him, I guess you could say. I thought it was pretty dope how the Iron Man suit was like unmanned, because I will say this, I know a lot of other reviews have said this already, but I'll just say it again. I like how in the previews it was really Iron Man focused, and there was a lot of jokes saying like Iron Man 4 featuring Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Complete opposite. Tony Stark / Iron Man wasn't in this movie as much as I thought.
No, there was maybe 4 scenes that you see him in.
So I thought it was cool how he saved him, but it wasn't him. Speaking of Tony Stark, whatever, he obviously sold the Avenger Tower, right? Is that what it's called, the Avengers Tower?
Yeah.
My thing is, who bought it? I already read online and stuff, people are thinking it's the Fantastic Four, which I don't know if that's a troll. I hope it is. I just want to know who got it, because they dropped subtle hints about it just sold, he's moving out, but they never said who it was.
Yeah.
So that's just my question. If you guys, theories down below, please.
Earlier I mentioned that I had a few complaints that I wanted to go over. Some things that just, I don't know, I felt like they were unnecessary to the movie and kind of almost ruined it for me in a way. There was a lot of good parts, but then the little parts kind of like, you know, if they'd have left that out, probably been 10 times better. I'll go over a few of them. One, if everybody remembers correctly from Civil War, and if I'm remembering correctly, and if not, correct me below and let me know. But if I remember correctly off the top of my head of Civil War, Spider-Man's wrapping up Ant-Man and he starts referencing The Empire Strikes Back. But he doesn't reference it like he knows what Star Wars is. He references as that old movie.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And in this movie, they make him out to be a huge Star Wars fan. So, I mean, there's action figures on his shelf in his room. Him and his buddy build the Death Star together. So there's definitely that point, like, I don't know if they just didn't, you know, maybe they just decided to add that in there. I don't know what happened with that, but that's just a pet peeve. Something that just stood out to me that was kind of like, oh, it doesn't really match up. Another thing is there was a couple moments in the movie where people just happen to like answer at the right time. For instance, as an example, Happy does not answer any of his texts. They show his phone, he's got about 1,000 texts that Happy hasn't responded to. And if you're not familiar with who Happy is, it's Iron Man's sidekick, Jon Favreau. They show a part where Peter Parker has about 1,000 text messages that he sent. He also calls them and keeps leaving voicemails, nothing. But then all of a sudden, like, there's one part in the movie where he runs into the villains, and guess what? Happy answers the phone. It's almost too convenient. and it's just one of those things that just stands out to me.
Yeah.
Also, going into a few other little things is I felt like there's a lot of scenes where they made Spidey kind of feel like, and going back to him being a 15-year-old kid, I get that, but they almost, like, he's so smart, but they almost made him stupid. A guy steals a bike, and Spider-Man's kind of holding it and just standing around like asking like, whose bike is this? Whose bike is this? And he leaves like a little note on it that says, please do not steal if this is not your bike.
Yeah, not to cut you off, but that's what I mean by like the comedic relief. All of it really necessary type of thing.
Yeah, there's a scene where he drives the car.
Doesn't know how to turn on the
And he doesn't know how to turn on the headlights. He doesn't know how to drive it. He's like going crazy all over the road.
But one comedic relief that I did enjoy was his suit when he was talking to Karen. When like she'll say, do you want me to activate insta-kill or something? And he's like, wait, what? And his eyes turn like, his eyes go black, and then there's like a red pupil, and he's like, no insta-kill, like, Karen, I don't want to kill anybody. And he goes through like all of his suit whatever abilities when he's trapped in this whatever the hell it's called. I thought that was funny because you got to see everything that the suit could do. So I feel like maybe they were kind of leading into possibly what he's going to be doing like next movie. Like what is, because he had like electric web, he had rapid fire
the
web
grenade.
yeah, like a web grenade. Well, you saw the movie if you're watching this, obviously you saw it. Yeah, so a whole bunch of other stuff. I think that was kind of necessary because it was funny, but it was informational.
No, I agree. There is a lot of comedic moments where I actually laughed out loud. And I know this is my first video, so not a lot of people, know me. Honestly, it takes a lot to get me to laugh.
One Easter egg that I did see was the Ultron head. He was digging through some truck that Vulture was trying to steal. I think it was that part, right? Yeah. When the portal thing closed and he hits his head and gets knocked out, when he wakes up, he's digging through, and I think it was Ultron's head that he pulled out of the bag.
Yeah, that was a nice little Easter egg. That was the only thing that stood out to me too.
It was just a little, so I thought I'd throw it out there.
Yeah.
Just so it shows like I kind of know what I'm talking about.
Touching on the suit a little more, definitely a lot different than any other Spider-Man suit that you've seen in any other movie. Not only does it look different, but as we were talking earlier, there's abilities that he has on it, there's gadgets, there's gizmos, there's everything about this suit is completely different than we've ever seen in any other Spider-Man movie, and it's absolutely awesome in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's way more high tech. It kind of puts you in that mindset of Tony Stark and Iron Man,
for sure,
but Spider-Man style. That they actually did they did this awesome thing where when he's putting it on, it's all real baggy on him, and Tom Holland's a small guy.
That was funny.
So, he's got this big baggy suit on, this big baggy mask hanging, and he touches his chest and it just tightens up, and I thought that was really clever. And
to like piggyback off of that, I guess that's another reason why I guess I do like this Spider-Man movie kind of over the other ones, even though I just said that I have to watch them, is it kind of gave a more behind the scenes of Spider-Man. Like, you really saw Peter Parker change into Spider-Man, not like physically, like outfit wise. Oh damn, okay, I'm rewinding. I know another thing I wanted to talk about. I like how they didn't reboot the origin of Spider-Man, where as soon as it said 8 years later or something like that, it was boom, everybody knew who Spider-Man was. Like, he was already taking care of stuff out in public, because I think in the other Spider-Mans he was doing it like super low-key. One thing that I was actually going to touch on, and I think you were too, there's a lot of characters, I don't even know who these characters are. Never seen any of these characters, never heard of them in any comics. If you know who Ned is, or you know who Michelle is, which also they reference as MJ. Is she Michelle or is she Mary Jane? I don't know. And then his girlfriend, I can't even think of her name right now. Liz, the love interest. Okay, we'll get into something bigger with her later on, that both of us looked at each other in the theater, and it was, it was pretty crazy. Yeah, I forgot.
And one last thing about the suit. I went into big detail on it. One awesome thing is the fact that he has the webbing underneath his arms that helps him fly. That's a reference back to the first appearance of Spider-Man, because his original costume actually had the web wings under there. So I thought it was really cool that they can activate and deactivate. And the next thing that completely blew me and him away, and probably a lot of people, is Vulture as Liz's dad. Because when he opened that door, I literally almost shit myself. That was the last thing I expected, because once again, I know Green Goblin was his best friend's dad. Like, I get that, but like a love interest dad, I didn't really see that coming. I had actually read a spoiler that said that Zendaya, who plays Michelle, actually Vulture was supposed to be her dad. So I was blindsided because going into the movie, I had accidentally come across
A wrong spoiler.
Yeah, I came across a wrong spoiler, and it led me to misbelieve something else.
Well,
so
that's even better.
It was better because I was expecting to see something else, and
Yeah.
it completely shot me in a different direction, and both of our jaws dropped.
They did a good job with the reveal. I will say that.
They did.
They nailed it, because his reaction the whole time, like in the car and while they were taking pictures, like you kind of got that feeling like it was like, wow. And then she started talking about Spider-Man and DC and all this stuff and his dad. I don't know. I mean, they did it perfectly, honestly, as you guys know, but
Yeah.
A+ for that.
When it clicks in his head that Peter is Spider-Man, you just got this. You can just see it. Like he just is such a good actor that you can just feel it. You can see it on his face.
I'll go ahead and say Vulture is probably my favorite villain in the Spider-Man movies. And I'm just gonna jump ahead. I thought it was pretty dope that when he got into jail, that guy, I don't know who he is. Tell us who that is, because we have no idea.
No idea.
But I liked how he stuck up for Peter, because obviously he saved him, and I feel like there must have been some sort of like conversation, like leave me here type of thing, because
Yeah, it kind of cut.
he looked, yeah, it cut away, and he kind of looked willing when the cops or whoever it was showed up. He kind of was just like, okay, you got me.
Spider-Man saves Vulture from basically burning alive. It just cuts from one scene of him saving them laying next to each other, and then next thing you see is Vulture webbed up to the side of some piece of metal.
Yeah. So the next thing that kind of made us look at each other in the theater was when Happy was driving Peter to the new base, because in the beginning of the movie, obviously they said Stark's moving uptown or upstate New York, and when he gets there, it looks like it's the old X-Men University or Mutant University, because the jet.
Yeah.
The Blackbird. I think it's called Blackbird, right? I think it's called the Blackbird. I don't know. If it's wrong, I'll put it here. If I'm too lazy, just tell me in the comments. It legit looks like the Academy. And I think I remember in the X-Men movies them saying in upstate New York is where their school was. So I thought that was pretty dope, because I thought I heard after this Logan movie where they're trying to make Wolverine part of the MCU now. And I don't know if that's going to be after Infinity War or whatever, but I mean, if that rumor is true, and if this is the Academy, because they said it's newly renovated or remodeled, and did the Academy get damaged in any of the movies?
In Apocalypse, it was
that
damaged, but that was like
before.
set in the 90s.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that would tie in.
If it is true, that's pretty dope.
That'd be freaking sweet, honestly.
Yeah.
Just, you know, could have put that at the end in the end credit scenes.
We obviously said something about the first end credit scene. But I guess we really can't tell you not to stay for the post credits, because it's a spoiler video, so if you're watching it, then you've already seen it.
So to touch on the end of the movie, there's a few things that happened. One, Tony Stark is ready to set up and make Spidey an Avenger officially, which is awesome. The suit that he offers him,
Pretty
awesome
dope.
looking.
Yeah, I was legit thinking that he was gonna accept it. I wasn't expecting him to say no, because that's what he wanted the whole movie, and then he gets it offered and it's like no.
Which was clever.
Yeah,
which is clever
cool.
that they went that route. That'll probably make him a little more mature in the next movie.
He'll probably grow a lot in the timeline from this movie until Infinity War, and then Homecoming 2 will probably be after that.
Yeah.
I would assume.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he'll probably mature a lot as Spider-Man.
They also, in that part, they brought back a character that we haven't seen in a while, Pepper Potts, which I thought was really cool. I've been somebody that's wondering what happens to certain characters and why they disappear, and she's actually one of them that I was wondering about, why she hasn't made an appearance in she didn't make an appearance in Age of Ultron. It was kind of cool to see her come back and, you know, make everybody aware that her and Tony Stark are still a thing.
Cause she took over Stark Industries, right?
I believe so.
I thought he appointed. He was like, you can have all of it or something. It was like real subtle when he was like, and she's like, really? Because I thought they started celebrating.
I think she runs it. Like,
yeah, because didn't he almost die in like Iron Man 3?
Yeah, which was not that good in my opinion. Last but not least, into the movie, the big reveal. This is the final scene that you'll see, that you may have seen, is Aunt May, and Aunt May knowing and finding out that Peter is Spider-Man. Pretty big deal.
I thought it was funny how she's just like, what the.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to the credits, because I honestly thought when the camera panned and it showed her, I thought she'd be like saying something funny. I was expecting a comedic relief, honestly, at that point, of saying something like, you know, why are you playing dress up, or, you know, why are you so obsessed with him, or something. I don't know. I didn't expect her to do that. obviously it's trying to show that she knows he's Spider-Man now. So alright guys, so that is obviously going to do it for this review. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please make sure to hit that like button. We will be doing more reviews, reactions, you know, whatever you want to call it. So please leave down in the comment section below if you enjoyed this. The next thing we'll probably do is whenever, well, Comic-Con's coming up, so any sort of new trailers that are dropping. And obviously you guys know I am a Star Wars fan, so once D23 is on the roll, I would assume that Last Jedi and maybe Rebels trailer will be going. He needs to catch up on Rebels, right?
Yeah, I watched season 1. And I started season 2.
He needs to catch up, yeah, because this is obviously the last season of Rebels. They will probably drop a trailer, I'm assuming. So we'll try to react to absolutely everything we can. So hopefully when these things drop, we can meet up that same day or next day and get these out to you guys.
Let us know what you guys liked about this video and what you didn't. This is obviously our first review, so we are newbies. And
I will say this video will probably get an average of like 10 to 12 dislikes, because that's like my ratio. I get at least 10 dislikes. So, and
that's okay. I mean, this is strictly our opinion. If you don't like it, that's fine. Get it. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion.
So it is currently 2:26. I know you can't read that, but that means this damn thing's been going on for like 40 some minutes. I am going to edit it down. I hope you're looking forward to future videos. Be expecting a hunt video out in the next couple of days, and don't worry, Kenny and I will be going on some hunts. He is actually going to be going to the toy show on the 23rd that I've been talking about, and that Cincy will be going to as well. So if you enjoyed, please give him some positive vibes down in the comment section, and that is going to wrap it up. So And that's going to wrap it up. And that's going to wrap it up, guys. As always,
may the figs be with you.